Quadri, what was your first reaction when you hear the news about James yesterday or Sunday or whenever it was?
You feel sorry for him and his family. He's worked very hard in this off season, in the winter and the summer to get to this point. You work countless amount of hours working out, running sprints, and in the weight room with Coach Andrews, and out on the field with each other. And for you to just for him to go down the first game the way he did, it's hard, but we have confidence in him that he'll bounce back from it, and he'll be fine. He told us that not to worry about him, not to think about him, because if James, he's a hard worker, and he'll come back from this stronger than ever.
Did he tell you guys, or is that how you heard, or how did you kind of find out?
He told Coach Narduzzi to tell us, because he wasn't here yesterday because he had to go get his MRI and stuff. Right. But Coach Narduzzi told us in the team meeting that James as well, and you gotta just keep it rolling from here, and not try not to miss a beat with even with one of our best players going down.
You talked about how hard he worked in the off season. Did that really kind of set sort of an example for younger guys like you? I mean, he's a guy who obviously had a pretty good year last year, and seemed to come out even work harder this year than he did like a year ago.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely, he's a leader. He's a leader on this team. And we have a bunch of leaders, but once you see people, like him, who had the season that he had, with all the accolades, working as hard as he was working, that makes you want to work harder, because he wasn't settling. You know what I mean? Some guys get all the accolades and they settle, and people tend to lose respect for him. But you gain a lot of respect for a guy who has all these accolades, and who some people think didn't have to work as hard as he did, but he came every day to workouts and work very, very hard and push yourself to the max.
Mm-hmm. What about you then? ACC Rookie of the Week, you had a ESPN college game day helmet sticker and all that stuff. What's your reaction when you see the thing on ESPN? I mean, I got to think young guys growing up are like, yeah, I want to get on ESPN like that. I mean, were you pretty excited to see that stuff?
Yeah, I was pretty excited. It's one thing that because I didn't see it for a while. Everybody's telling me about it, but then when you see yourself on ESPN, it's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I try to be I try to humble myself as much as possible and try not to get caught up in the hype, and all that stuff will pass. You know what I mean? It was over the weekend, and now it's passed, and now I'm just focused on Akron this week. That stuff is behind me now. It's great to have. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna look back on it, but right now I got to take it one game at a time and focus on this week's objective.
It seems like any time we've seen running backs have huge games like that in the past, they always seem to, at some point they're like, yeah, I rushed for 150 or 200 or whatever it was, but I could have had more. I left runs on the field. As you went back and watched the film, obviously you had some really big runs. Did you find some spots that the coaches point out, some spots were like, Quadri, you could have got another one there or something like that, kind of point out areas maybe yardage you left on the field?
Yeah, I mean, no game, nobody ever plays a perfect game, but at the end of the day, we got a win, on our record. So, you try not to dwell on those things like, I could have had, 220 yards if I would have did this. So, you look at it, you learn from it, but you don't beat yourself up about it, because at the end of the day, you got the team came out with a win. So. So that that's all that really matters. You can go and look at the tape, and you can critique things. You can find things to correct, and you can learn from that stuff. But as long as you got that W on your record, that's what really matters at the end of the day.
207 yards is still pretty good. It's not, even if you left a couple out there, it's still pretty good. Yeah. Well, the thing Artie said this week, think we asked him what impressed him about you, and he said that you really caught up to the tempo quick. That it didn't, and obviously you had a big run on your first play. What was that first play like? I mean, can you kind of what was going through your head as you're lining up and you take the snap and you get off on the run?
Well, my first run actually was my first play in the game. Actually, I got in the series before that, and we threw the ball.
Oh, that's right.
And so once you're in there, you get you're anxious and you're nervous, and you got a lot of people. It's my first time playing in front of that many people, but you just try to. At the end of the day, you just try to think about it. It's football. You've been playing this. Since you were 6 years old. So that's kind of that's what I try to, kind of tell myself, even on the run, you know what to do, you know what to do. Now you just gotta do it. And I guess if I had to say what I was telling myself, that's probably what I was telling myself, when the first run, came, like, the read and you know what to do. Now, just do it and trust your, trust the guys in front of you that's blocking for you.
You kind of take me back a little bit. I mean, obviously, I talked to you a bunch of times when you were getting recruited, but what was the reason back then that made you decide to come to Pitt? Like, what were some of the main things for you about coming here?
Coming to Pitt, I wanted to be, I'm a family guy, so I want to be, close, as close to my family, but not too far. So I think it's important that kids get to. Their parents come to their game, and family comes to their games to support them. So I tried to, be close to home, and I like Coach Chris and his staff. They had a really good staff, and I really liked the coaches at the time. But I'm past that. I love Coach Narduzzi, and and the staff we have now. And I just I look forward to seeing where we go from here as a team.
Right. I remember last year in training camp, it seemed like you and Chris were really close. I mean, everybody knew about James, but it was I forgot which one of you guys was going to play. What was that kind of that battle like for you? Did you feel like you guys were really neck and neck? And was it tough when it kind of was decided like Chris was going to play, you were gonna redshirt that year?
We never looked at it as a battle, we're both, in the same room, and, the thing, with me and Chris and, anybody else in the running back room, we all want each other to do well. I wasn't, I wasn't angry that I wasn't, playing. I was young. I would have played my first game at 17 years old if I would have played last year. So, I was young, and then I kind of just, once, they said I was going to redshirt, I kind of just, said I was, let's get the positives, out of it. And, I started, learning the playbook more and more. And then you get to really focus on, on school. You don't have to focus on football as much. So I just try to, attack the, the things, that could get me better and ready for next season.
Mm-hmm. You had the the pinky injury over the summer. Was there ever any concern for you about, was it going to linger, maybe keep you out for early part of this season, or were you pretty confident you'd be ready to go?
No, I was confident. This is going on week 6, I think, since I heard it. So I wasn't, I knew I was going to miss the first week of camp, but, Rob and Tim, they did a great job of, throughout camp, me being able to practice, putting a cast on it, and me being able to, get the reps out there that I needed. So they did a real great job of, really taking care of it and working on it, and working on my mobility and getting it back to, close to fully healed. And so I have to, hats off to those guys for helping me, through the injury.
So what's this week going to be like for you? I mean, I know everybody's going to get carries, everybody's going to play. I mean, you and Chris and Darren, I'm sure, are all going to get some work. But you're really going into this week knowing that even if you're not the starter, I mean, you're the guy coming off a 200-yard game. I mean, does it change your approach? Does it change like kind of how you're going into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it changes how some coaches would say, your coaches say all the time, like, time to grow up, or, And that's towards all of us, especially with James going down. We all have to step up and grow up because we're young. I'm a redshirt freshman, Darren's a true freshman, and Chris is a true sophomore. And James and Sheed were the veterans of the running backs room of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to come together because we're young, and we have to grow up. You have to step up to the to the stage and step up to the task. And I think we're doing a great job with that. Just talking to each other and trying to learn from each other and get better every day, and just keep growing as a room.
You set any goals for yourself for the rest of the season now? I mean, you want to what do you want to try and accomplish this year?
Win. That's the number one goal. At the end of the day, personal goals are nice, but what comes with personal goals is winning. If I get 25 yards and we win, I'm happy. If I get 300 yards and we win, I'm happy. We just really want to win. I don't want to look into the personal goals of for myself. If I had to set a goal, it would just be for us to win. That's really the only goal I'm concerned with.